Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again for this new Wednesday. And we really appreciate taking your time joining us and our social media platforms as well, as we are live on Facebook and also in our YouTube channel with this Let Us Talk It. So we do this Zipinar in order to provide or give back to the community through free knowledge sharing and creating an informed and empowered uh, community by providing free knowledge from the experts and the individuals who specialize in their skills and sharing their knowledge in this platform. So we have wonderful topics today with two new speakers as well who are really great and has offered their time and their knowledge with their experience into this platform to give back to the community as well and join the initiative. So we have today, for the first speaker, we have Greg Mester, who will be talking on building the $1 million agile team, learning from what millionaires share and how it could apply to you and your agile team. So the topic talks about examining some of the tips shared by millionaires that make them so productive with their time and how they can be applied to our agile teams. Thoughts from Gary V, Grant Cardone, Bob Proctor, Price Pritchett, and how they speak agile without knowing it. And Greg Mester of 5 a.m. Master Scrum is an agile cheerleader, trainer, coach, scrum master, keynote speaker, and entrepreneur, working together with people and organizations, large and small, to help them bring about what they want in life and business. And Greg loves getting teams to work at an enjoyable, sustainable pace so they have time to enjoy life while producing valuable and timely customer solutions. So, and yeah, you can catch him daily as he do a podcast show at 5 a.m. Master Scrum video. And he is on about every social media platform with millions of views and 10K, 10,000 more connections, and is open to connect and share with everyone interested in agile business. And without further ado, I'll have Sir Greg Mester deliver the discussion with regard to the topic. Please take over.
Okay, thanks. And you can hear me pretty well?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Share. And you should see it okay. All right, let's get going here. So, hey, good afternoon. I'm Greg Messer. I do a little show called 5 a.m. Messer Scrum, but today we're going to talk about building the $1 million agile team. And since the holidays are here, I got a couple books. I'll share some books and everything that people can buy for people during the holidays. But this is about thoughts from people like Gary V, Grant Cardone, Bob Proctor, Price Pritchett, Lila Hermosi, and others that talk about how they built their multi-million-dollar businesses and how they really are talking a lot of things, but we can apply to a team and build multi-million-dollar agile teams. So with that, I'll get going here a little bit. Let's see how this works. Okay, so this would be a question to anybody. I mean, if you do the chat in there, but what is not a habit of multi-millionaires? And there's 4 choices in here. And if you're monitoring the chat, maybe you can see what people are saying. But is reflecting on daily goals not a habit? Is working individually not a habit? Working with a mastermind team, is that not a habit? Getting upset when things happen unplanned, is that not a habit? So of these 4 things, does anybody know or anybody want to add? I know we're on a Zoom call, maybe we do some chat. Which one would you say is not a habit of multimillionaires? Is anything coming in on the chat there? He's quiet.
Yeah, nothing on the chat yet. So number 4, I think.
They think getting upset is a habit for multimillionaires.
Yeah, it says
Okay.
what is not a habit. So I think it's not a habit of them to get upset when things happen unplanned.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not a habit. So
Yeah, we
all
have to
these things. So the only one that they don't do on a regular basis is they don't work individually. Multimillionaires know the biggest thing about making multis and millions of dollars is working with others and not by themselves necessarily. When you're on your own, you can only make so much money. But if you want to make multiples of millions of dollars, you need a team of people. And about the getting upset when things happen unplanned, multimillionaires develop a knowledge of things are going to happen unplanned, and they have a methodology in their brain how they handle that when the unplanned things, and they don't get upset about it, and they work their way through it. So let's talk through this presentation a bit. Some of the agendas we're going to talk about: reusing, maximizing value, goals, visualization, repetition, the team, which is really a mastermind, the blame game, reviews and failures, quantum leaps, setting people up for success, meetings, wasting time, and bonus. We're going to talk a little about gratitude as we get to here in the States. We have Thanksgiving. And do you want to let me know? I see there's a chat in there. Anybody wants to do chat? You can put that over here. None of them, I think. Okay, cool. So Gary V, have you heard of Gary V? He's very big in what do I say, social media. He has a couple companies, CEO of VaynerMedia, bestseller, made a lot of money. He shared a deck, and there's a free deck out there. If you search on the internet, Gary V marketing deck, you'll find it in Google. Here he's giving away hundreds of pieces or how to make content on a daily basis. And his big thing is reuse and maximizing value. So when he gives a lecture or a show or talks at a group, he then records all that and splits up all this media into multiple pieces of content. And there's where he's using his time, maximizing his time, where he spends 1 hour doing something and it makes maybe 10, 15, 20 pieces of content that uses in social media. So the big thing from an Agile perspective and what we do is how can we reuse something we spent a couple hours in there? Just like the other day, I was in a coffee shop. I said, well, while you're making that espresso for somebody, videotape the espresso as you're making it and put it up on social media. So they're doing two things with the same amount of time. So they're doubling their output. But definitely check out his deck. It's free, doesn't cost you money. It has great pieces on how to do that and timings too. Bob Proctor. So I got his book here. I don't know if you can see it. Somehow. You Were Born Rich. It's a good little book. It's not too bad. Some of the things he talks about, goals. And if you look at the 2020 Scrum Guide, goals are now more front and center. You have a product goal, you have a sprint goal, right? Bob Proctor is all about reviewing vision and goals daily. He's writing them the first thing in the morning. So it's just like reviewing that. So what action does he need to take to accomplish them? Same thing if you were in an Agile team and you did a daily Scrum or stand up. What are you doing? You're looking at your goals for the sprint. You're reviewing them with the team. What actions do you need to accomplish them that day? From the Agile Manifesto, the manifesto says, respond to change over following a plan. Bob Proctor in his book about You Were Born Rich, the goal remains, but how we get there changes. It's the same verbiage, right? Just from two different people. Here's a multimillionaire saying, hey, we have a goal, but how we get there is going to change. Same thing that from the Agile Manifesto, responding to change over following a plan. So we know there's a plan. We set up a plan or goal, but we know it's going to change over time. So it's being that flexible as a multimillionaire. Visualization. I don't know how many times I go in meetings and teams have user stories or topics, and they don't put in graphics, no pictures. I'm like, put some graphics, put some pictures, visualize your goal, what you want it to look like at the end. Your brain is very big on visual representation, drawing a vision, maps of the goals with pictures. not just words, but pictures. So I even have, there's a practice out there to do a vision map. And I got one here. So you don't think I just kind of made it up myself. I don't know. Kind of blurs out with the, maybe I wish I could unblur my picture. Can I do that? Blur my background. There we go. Now you can see it. There's my vision map, right? So I actually do it myself. And I'll be honest with you, almost everything on this vision map is in process or some have achieved. Some things I didn't think about, but they are there. So visualizing where you want your team to be as a path forward, so you know what your goal is, but how you're going to get there may change along the way. And that's very agile. And repetition. All the books, everything talks about repetition. Manifesto does, the guy, Bob Proctor, Gary Vee, they always talk about that. Agile Manifesto principles. At regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. Scrum guide. Smaller sprints can be employed to generate more learning cycles. So it's about that repetition. The more times you get to try it, the better you're going to get at it. Bob Proctor, he uses repetition programs in this. It helps the subconscious. So as you get used to doing like a daily scrum or stand up at the same time every day, it just becomes part of your subconscious. You know you do it. The more you do it and the more you do it consistently, the better you are. Gary Vee questioned why companies are not putting 100 pieces of social media content a day, right? He's like, this should just be coming out every day. And he's talking to these companies with thousands of people. There's so much content that could be going out there. And my little tidbit on this one, the better the cadence, the less documentation and sprint interruptions. The more you have a regular cadence, the more repetitions, everyone will know what your cycle is. If you keep moving things around, changing dates, whatever, they won't know, and they'll keep trying to interrupt what you want to achieve as a team. So the better you have that cadence, the less you'll need documentation and the less sprint interruptions you'll have too. The mastermind. Now, Napoleon Hill, this little book here, he talks about think and grow rich, and then there where you think your process through. So he has this idea, the concept of the mastermind is just about everywhere. Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill. If you listen to any podcasts or audios of any of these rich people talking, what are they? It's a group of people that get together to talk about. So the mastermind is the coordination of knowledge and effort and a spirit of harmony between two or more people. So with the same purpose. So really, your agile team is in fact a mastermind of people with the same goal to achieve. Now, one of the things I want to add to this, in a mastermind, they have like team rules, team norms. Maybe you see team norms, a lot of agile teams come up with that. How do we operate, right? There is one key. If you can add this one norm, which I have on this presentation, called I forgive. I forgive myself for mistakes I've made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past, so I can move into the future with a clean slate. If you can add that to your team norms, your team as a mastermind will go so much further, because everyone makes mistakes. Something happens. But the key with these multi-millionaires is they're able to forgive and move on and just go to the next thing. So that's what they do. Grant Cardone, another one. Got this book here. I went and found all my books that are sitting in my office. I'm like, I got to bring all the books up. He's talking about 10X. A couple of things. Grant Cardone, this company is $5.2 billion. So it's not, he did the undercover millionaire or billionaire. And I think he went from $0 to like $5 million in just a couple of days on that show. He says, don't blame others for the lack of success. Assume it will take 100 times more work or effort. And my thing is, I say classically teams overcommit when they don't realize this. They don't realize how much effort it's really going to take. They overcommit. And in these principles, like self-organizing teams, Scrum team is responsible for all product related activities. We're saying the same thing. Don't blame others for what your team can achieve. It's up to you and your team to achieve them. And that's a principle from pretty much every multimillionaire. Don't blame others for your lack of success. This is a neat little book. U Squared. So I got this one. It's a little tiny book. So if you wanted to get this book on Amazon or something and read it, it doesn't take much. Very easy read. You can read that in a day or a couple hours. So here he's talking about reviews of failure, quantum leaps, Price Pritchett. Seek failure. It helps you find the boundaries of what you're capable as a group, as a team. Before you make a move before you're really ready. Don't wait. Are we really ready? Are we really ready? I mean, that's a waterfall thing. Like, let's not give it to the customer until we do 2 years of testing and validation and all that stuff, and we'll figure that out. But get it out there even before you're ready. Find solutions. Scrum sprint reviews are supposed to create leaps, not just what's done. So the idea is you put that stuff out in those reviews with your clients, your stakeholders, and they're going to build off that and grow to the next level, right? Some examples of this leaps and bounds, like containerization, automated testing was once all manual. Test code forever with a little bit of extra work. So now instead of manually doing all this stuff with automation, you can test thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code with that, where it used to be you had to hire thousands of people. So, I mean, those are leaps and bounds that exist nowadays that didn't exist before. So those are those quantum leaps. Those are pushing the boundaries to see what's possible. And then Leah Hormozi, her and her husband built a $100 million business. They sold it. They're building another business. She is really good. If you want to follow anybody on YouTube and business savvy, and she's really like the COO of the company. She operates that thing. She's got it really down packed for how you set up people for success. So, and here's a couple things she meant. She talks about lots of feedback loops, trust and honesty, structure and expectations given up front. Immerse people in the culture, assign a buddy to the team. So these are like her 5 things that anybody who brings a new team member should do. So now when you're building these teams, how do you bring it together? And she wrote a video, why do good employees quit? 5 mistakes. Primary reason why they quit is your onboarding is poor, right? If you fire someone within a year, it costs you up 100% to 300% of their annual salary. So that's why we have this, we need to onboard better. So what I would like to recommend is when you have your backlog and you're onboarding new members, create a story in your sprint, in your time for your team to spend quality time with the new person coming on board. I like saying, hey, Scrum Master, talk Scrum if you're doing Scrum, or if you got a Kanban lead, talk about Kanban. Tech people share technical stuff. Product owner, talk about the product, and actually make it a thing that happen for your new employees on board. Don't just give them a manual and drop it on their desk and say, here, go learn about our company, right? So make it more involved and work on that onboarding. One of Gary Vig's big thing, meetings wasting time. And I'm going to add a little bit to that too. He hates meetings, right? He's like, how to use your time effectively. And he says, I'm able to move something or cut something down. He's really thinking about the 7-minute meeting is real. Daily Scrum, it shouldn't be an hour long. It shouldn't be a half hour long. It should be 15 minutes or less, and mostly less. And also make decisions. Don't overthink it. The more we overthink it, the less decisions we make. So here's a couple little tips from me. As I already said, daily Scrum is supposed to be 15 minutes in and out. Reoccurring meetings are the death nail to decisions. So if someone says, we got to make a decision, oh, I'll set up a reoccurring meeting for the next 6 months. Well, you're not going to make a decision on whatever you're doing for 6 months later. So the idea is you have a meeting to make a decision, not to extend the decision-making process for 6 months. So if someone says we're going to schedule regular meetings, just raise your hand and say, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, these multimillionaires would never let us have a 6-month recurring meeting or something like that. That's not going to happen. And then the last one is don't overthink story points. Story points we know are wrong. Don't try to microanalyze them and spend too. It should just take 30 seconds to a minute maximum to figure out pointing or estimates for a story. If you're spending any more time than that, you're just wasting time. It's just a point in time and you figure that out. Let's see here, the last one. Here's a bonus, gratitude. I should have brought this. So this book, The Magic. Now people might, oh my God, it's the magic, whatever. It's like hocus pocus. It's a neat little book. It has 28 days, I believe. I think it's 28 days of little activities to be thankful. Yeah, 28 days, little series of stuff about expressing gratitude. And when you're grateful for what you do, you come in the day at a higher peak level than you would if you were at a lower peak level. And the one thing, I'll just give you one that I do myself because I know time's getting tight. One of the things I do in gratitude is every night, and I got my son to participate in this. And one of the things is like every night before you go to sleep, think about all the good things that happened to you during the day. Okay. And then one of the things they said, take a rock. Because why you take a rock? Because a rock, like this is my mouse, it has weight and mass and makes it has feel and touch. So as you think about the best thing that happened that day, you're holding this little rock, and he went and picked one out of the local river here for me. And you just say, thankful for that best thing of that day. That gets you into a positive mindset before you go to sleep. So when you wake up the next day, you are in a better point because you're so reflective and happy for all this good stuff you had. And there's other things like every morning, do your gratitudes. You'll not find any multimillionaire, if you listen for it and you're aware of it, they all say, yes, I do my gratitudes. They all do it. So every day before they go and do other work and tackle on the emails and all that and the Scrum team, they write five to 10 items that they're grateful every day and just be thankful for those good things that maybe happened the day before so that it starts their day in a good spot. So with that is what I wanted to share with you. All these books, there's closing reference materials that you can go get. They're all easy reads. None of them are very difficult. But it's another take on as an Agile person or building up teams or mentoring people that you can share different perspectives that can help them grow in the future. And with that, if you ever want to contact me, you can go to gregmester.com. You can go to 5ammasterscrum.com. I'm on every social media platform there is. Feel free to send me a connection link on LinkedIn. I'll definitely take it. I know it might say follow, but you can do the follow and I'll come back to you and say, hey, let's connect, or there's a little subheading connections there. I do a show every day on Scrum and Agile, very tactical, under 15 minutes because it's got to be small. And on Tuesday nights, we do a job posting. So if you're looking for Agile jobs, I go look in LinkedIn and analyze what's going on in the business market, what's going on Twitterverse for Agile and Scrum. And it's just something fun to go chat in. You're more than welcome to comment on the show because it is a live show. All my shows are live, except for sometimes I record things. With that, I'm done.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Greg, for sharing your insights, especially the highlights of those books. Definitely, it's worth reading. And thank you so much for sharing the actual information where they can get in touch with you if in case they wish to collaborate or do business with the specialties that you do. And now we open the actual part for the audience or the attendees to ask questions with regards to the topic or anything you have in mind that you'd like to share your thoughts and insights with regards to the topic. Please feel free to unmute or put it on chat.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Craig. The session was really insightful. I really loved some of the points which you mentioned with examples and the books which you showcased.
You're welcome.
Nice to have you here.
So you're going to buy a book for the holiday for readings? You got all this time off, you can read these while everyone else is doing something. Get a new book on, I share these books also for yourself. Like these are all like self-help books too. They apply to a team, but also for you as an individual.
Yeah. I'm also very curious about the background you have, the collection you have. So do you want to talk about
these?
that?
So I'm actually, one of my goals is on my sheet is I'm actually building a train museum. And a lot of these, I had to find a place to put some of the stuff because we're trying to find a location for it. And in the meantime, like I put a shelf up and I put it's a steam engine train museum here in Philadelphia. So a lot of this collection are items that are going to go in the museum in the future. So I just needed a place to store them all. So I built a shelf behind and put them up there.
Wow, really nice. I'm impressed. I'm pretty excited. Thank you, Craig. I'll hand over it to Phil for any other questions from the audience. By the way, we do have a startup session after 30 minutes. After Sai does his talk, we have a startup called Air OK, which is building filters to handle indoor pollution. So yeah, stay tuned if you're interested in startups. You can continue with the session and then listen to the pitch. Yeah, over to you, Phil.
Thank you so much, Ravi. And appreciate the talk, definitely. So we're not seeing any questions yet over the chat or on the Q&A section. So we can actually go forward. But if anything comes up in your mind, just feel free to put it in Q&A or type it in chat. We'll definitely address it because we will still have Greg. And also, as with the details shared earlier, you can get in touch with Greg offline whenever you feel comfortable reaching out to him. He's very approachable and replies almost instantly. So that's really something really great about Greg. All right, so moving on. Thank you so much again, Greg, for that wonderful topic in the discussion. So we'll discuss or cover the next topic for today's webinar. The next topic actually is research and analysis to build an organization. So as you know, research and analysis, it always comes together. And prominence of research analysis within any organization and its role in building up the company. And to introduce our speaker is Chinta Sai Burgov Reddy. He is a research analyst, and he has been working in the R&D domain for the past 5 years by involving in various projects of science and technology. And he's really a very approachable guy. To be honest, I approached him for this discussion with a little to very short notice, but he's very prepared and very enthusiastic in terms of sharing what he have in line with this topic. And without further ado, I'll give it to Sai to deliver his topic.
Thanks, Phil, for introducing me. So I'll just start the session. Okay. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. So today I'll be discussing a lot about research and analysis for building an organization. So this is Sai, and I'm working as a research analyst at an extra marks at tech firm. I am from India. So here, basically, today we'll be discussing more about research and analysis, and I'll be emphasizing on the same. So before going to discuss about the topic, so I'll give a brief idea regarding the research, what and how the people does the research, and what sort of analysis we need to do from our end, and how we need to build an organization after doing the proper research as well as analysis, and what are the market trends that are at present. So in R&D sector, so we'll go through one by one, and I try to simplify the matter in a very simple terms, and I hope so that everybody can understand regarding what I'm going to say. So when it comes to the research part, I think Simon Sinek is, I think he is one of the author as well as inspirational speaker. So you might have come across him over YouTube mainly from his motivational videos. And according to him, so he used to tell that his Sinek's golden circle is here. So in his golden circle, so he tries to tell that uh, before going to do something, so you need to think, or you need to figure out why you are doing that particular task, and how you are going to do, and what you are going to do at the end. So this is coming from, like, so first you need to think why you are going, for example, if you are trying to build a product, so why you are building that particular product, and how you are going to use that particular product in order to bring it to the customer or bring it to the market, and so on. And what are the products that you will be building, whether it will be whether they are market demanded or not. So all these things we need to think in each and every perspective. So, and this is one of his famous circle, which is used to be called as golden circle. So whenever you are going to do any sort of research, so these are the three main key points which I, from my own experience, I have tried to listed these three key points. From the past 6 years, I was there in the R&D sector, so I have involved in the projects in science as well as technology domains. So I found these three are the key points. If you are going to build an organization, these 3 points are the main specific points which you need to look out. So the first thing is you need to identify the problem statement, so which I'm showcasing it over here. So before going to build something, you need to identify the problem statement in which you are going to work out something. And then the second one is you need to look out for the competitors. And then the third point is you need to learn how the business runs. That means, for example, we do have Apple, we do have Samsung. So Apple is going in such a way that nobody. That means they try to evolve in such a way that there are no other competitors in the mobile segment as of now. So there are a lot more competitors, but when it comes to Apple iPhone, so they have their own OS, and but when it comes to Samsung or Vivo phones or something, so they are using actually Google Play, and they are using Android, which was developed by Google actually. So that is how it is. So basically, you need to look out for the competitors, and then you need to know how they are running the business, and what sort of tactics they are performing. If you really want to establish something, and you need to look out the competitors, you need to identify the problem. You need to know about the business, whether the revenue financials and all, how much amount the budgets they are trying to allocate for a particular thing. So you need to go through each and everything. So this is the basic research which you need to do. So before going to start up anything. So when it comes to analysis part, so in the current trend, so everybody is trying to do this analysis with respect to data. So that means whatever the records you have till now, so based upon the previous records and based upon the data that you have gathered or collected, so we are trying to bring out some sort of inputs from the data which we have collected, and based on that we can get the results, so that where you need to know in which sector or which segment that you need to perform, or you need to know about the task. So here the first thing is you need to do the data analysis by collecting the data from different sources, and then try to clean the data, so which is not necessary, and then try to analyze the data with what you have, and then try to interpret the results which you are having. So, and from that actually you can try to solve the problem, or you can try to overcome the issue which you need to get in. So why I am trying to emphasize the data analysis is the main thing is that, so it is all about the market. So if you look at the data analytics market, so it is going to, by 2030 it is going to increase by $346 billion, which is almost 10x from 2021. So if you look at the graph, so here in 2021 the market size is just 31.74 billion, and it is going to increase up by 346, which is, it is almost 10x. So that is what the market size is reducing, and whatever the things we are looking it is almost everything is with respect to data. So for example, I want to tell that, so we used to wear Apple watches. So Apple watches are actually, we are thinking that they are just helping us, but indirectly they are taking out the data that what that means that they are monitoring our health, they are monitoring our pulse, they are monitoring our heartbeat, everything. So they are collecting all the data from each and every perspective, and then they are trying to sell it for insurance companies who they required. That means, this is what I mean. So if you are going to build any product, so make sure you try to build a product in such a way that so that it will be it will keep on giving the data, so that for example, if you look at Internet of Things, so machine keeps on giving the data every second it used to transmit the data. So that is what, so from that particular data we'll get to know so what sort of products we need to build and what sort of things we need to do. So when it comes to research as well as analysis, so these are the key main points which we need to figure out. And as per the president's research, so this is the market size. And when it comes to building, so once you do proper research as well as analysis, then you need to go up in building while building up an organization. So you need to have a team. So try to collect or hire people of various domains of expertise. Why? Because we don't know which domain of expertise is going to help in which way. So basically, I am from the science background, but I am working in a technology sector. So this is how the world is turning out. That means you don't know in which domain of expertise is going to help in which way. So that means everybody is transitioning their careers in different way. So that is how the world is moving. So we don't know who can help us in which. That means what I mean to convey here is, so you can be from any of the sector, but you can still enter into any sector at any point of time when you have really passion or when you have really interest in that. So here, while building an organization, you need to have some sort of team with like-minded people, so with from various domains of expertise. And the main key point is, so when you are trying to give a service, or when you are trying to build a product, it must be unique in order to survive in the market. So why? Because we do have a lot of competition in the current growing world. So I think recently UN released that we have reached out almost up to 8 billion populations worldwide. So that is what. So the human population is growing day by day. Our needs are growing day by day. So we need certain sustainable products in such a way. We need to build sustainable products so that it should be affordable to everyone, so that we can be a leader inside the market, or we can make a product that can be more innovative. So that is what I'm trying to say. So either you try to make the product in a more innovative way, or you try to make the product in such a way that it should be totally unique from what others do. That is what Apple is doing. So or else you try to improvise the same thing by innovating or by applying some thoughts, or by doing some sort of new research, and then try to implement it in different ways. So I think so this is what when it comes to building part. So if you look
So,
at the market trends, yes.
yes, yeah. Do you entertain questions in the middle? We have questions here from Srinivasa, from Srini, and we have here from the Q&A box as well.
Okay.
Yeah, let's start with Srini.
So how do you get raw or aggregated data around market size, competition, etc., to even do initial analysis? So for this question, I would tell that uh, for getting the raw or aggregated data, so there are so many sources in which we used to get the data. So but the best website which I can tell you is Statista. So you can go through Statista, where you can find out the more amount of data from irrespective of the market you are interested in. So we'll get whole data from there. And likewise, there are so many other resources. The mainly I used to prefer Statista, as it is as they have too much amount of data that I have ever seen in any other resource. So that is what I can tell. Yes, it is Statista. Okay. So hope I have
We,
answered Sai's question. Yeah.
yeah,
So
we
shall
have
I
the
go
next
through?
question from Srini.
Okay.
Oh, would you like to unmute?
So I didn't see his question. Srinivas.
Yeah. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So this is what the government budget allocations for R&D sector with respect in 2019, 2020 as well as 2021. So this is the data that I have collected from World Intellectual Property Organizations in the report they have released in 2022. So these are the market trends. That means you can see the importance or the prominence that the governments in different countries they are giving. That means they are spending more much amount of money in R&D sector. I think here in the y-axis actually they have mentioned that in thousands of dollars actually. So in USD they have mentioned it over thousands of dollars. When it comes to the specific region, so US is standing over the position. It is on the top, and in the other way, in other segment, in the other region, so Netherlands is topping the same position. So this is what the importance or prominence when it comes to R&D sector. So we can also tell that based upon the R&D, even the country the country also gets developed. So the country also becomes a developed nation only if they spend more amount of money towards R&D sector. And that is how we can able to achieve the things. And these are the rankings which were released by World Intellectual Property Organization. So and the rankings were named as Global Innovation Index rankings, and based upon the scores they have mentioned, they have given the ranking overall. So when it comes to overall category, Switzerland tops the list with Denmark as a 10th rank. So this is how the things. This is the market trend that currently it is happening. So, and I would like to end this session by taking up more amount of questions on the data which I have presented it. And I would like to tell that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So this is one of the famous quote from Simon again. So he said in an YouTube lecture that people never actually buy what you do, they used to buy why you do it. So that is the best example is Apple, and it is actually proving it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sai. That was really insightful with
Yes.
the topic that you have delivered. So yes, as you mentioned, yeah, we are opening the actual section for additional questions. And yes, Sai, please, yeah, you can unmute actually.
Hey, thanks for the session. It was a really good session. I have a couple of questions. I joined halfway in between, but at least from the point I joined, I have a couple of questions. So the last slide, you said people don't actually buy what you do; they buy why you do it, right? And that's a little bit counterintuitive to me, and it would be great if you can expand. The reason why it's counterintuitive is you may have all the good reasons in the world to do something, but if you don't do it well, if you give a bad product, even though the intent behind the product is great, it may not sell. I'm trying to understand intuitively why that makes sense to you, even though Simon Sinek said it. Number one. Second question. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. You can
Second
tell.
question is a very simple one. The World Innovation rankings. What is counted as innovation, right? How do you quantify innovation? Is it number of patents? Is it number of products being released? These are the two questions.
Okay. So I'll come with the second question, as you said recently. These innovation rankings are made, they are actually calculated based upon various segments. That means whether it comes to manufacturing, whether it comes to IT sector, and they also measure, they used to measure based on the pharmaceutical sector. So like from various domains are the key factors. So they used to use specific rankings based upon the specific sectors, and then aggregatively they collect together, and then they used to give the rankings based on the average score. So they have scored it. So that is what it is with respect to the rankings. When it comes to the first question which you have asked, so Simon said that actually he's one of his video. So he mentioned that, so when it comes to why we do the things, see why, because see Apple comes in such a way that So they're innovating the things. They're trying to give the best in the market with by providing the best. That means if you give the amount or something, so they'll give the best that is available in the market. So they are innovating in such a way that you can't even compare with the things when it comes to mobile market industry. So we can't even compare. But still, people are trying to innovate when it comes to Apple or Samsung. Okay, so even Samsung is also performing better. They are also improvising. They are also innovating. But still, why people prefer Apple over Samsung? So there is some sort of things that Apple has Apple actually, I can tell that Apple has got the trust from the people, so in which the products they make, so right from the beginning. So they didn't it is actually, people used to call it as a brand value, right? So it all depends upon the trust they have built right from the beginning stage onwards. So if you want to have a brand, so try to build the trust with the customer right from the beginning, so that obviously you don't need to go to people to buy the product that you are building. So people will come to you to buy the product for what you are
Okay.
giving. So that is what I'm going to say. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So I think the takeaway message over here is, if two products have the same quality and same features, right? Exactly same. And if one product has a better story behind it, the why or the brand, if you will, and the why can branch into different things, right? It can be the brand, it can be your cause and all of that. Then people will gravitate more towards the product that has a better why behind it.
Yes, it is.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and I would like to tell that, so hope if my screen is visible, this is my LinkedIn profile. So you guys can connect with me at any time. So I'm happy to answer your questions, or I'm open to any sort of, that means I used to prepare reports for the companies as a freelancer besides my job. So just.
Yeah, we have another question from Niranjan on the Q&A section. Thank you, Sai. What are other raw data site you can recommend?
So I never, at most of the times, for doing generally research and analysis, I used to prefer going through the research journals. So research journals actually for example, I can say American Chemical Society is one of the research journal. Nature is one of the research journal. Science is one of the research journal. So these are the research journals. They used to publish the papers based upon the previous year's research that they have carried out away. So you can go through the journals. I said as of now, American Chemical Society with respect to chemistry especially. So in nature actually they used to, that means maths, all the STEM subjects, and as well as social subjects also you can get more amount of resources from there even. So you try to go through a proper research and analysis, and then try to go through the proper stream medium. That means don't sometimes actually people used to make LinkedIn posts based upon the data someone has posted, so without even referring it. So people used to take it as a raw data, and then they used to make some posts. So you try to mention the source from where you are trying to where you are trying to get the, that means you are getting the data, so that it will be more authentic, and then you will also get what's actually is happening. So that is what I can suggest.
Thank you. I have, yes, okay. So yeah, Niranjan said, thank you, Sai. So I think that takes care of that question. Yeah. And yeah, please, yeah, if you could let everybody know how to get in touch with you, or if you wish to promote anything that you're doing, like you're developing, or like what, if you have a research or of some sort, yeah, please do.
Yes. So me and my friends actually, we are also building something over blockchain actually. So we just started it in the last year. So the name is Fact Protocol. So it is Web3 based startup actually. So that is what we are in the R&D stage at present. So I am currently heading the R&D part. So for that organization as well as the community partnerships, I am also heading the both wings at present. And one of my friend is Mohit Agadi. So he is the co-founder of Fact Protocol. And so that is what I would like to tell. And so can I showcase that over here?
Yeah, we still have like 9 minutes to spare.
Okay. So I'm just sharing my screen. So I guess this is the project which we are currently working on. So there seems to be an internet issue. So yes, it got connected. So hope my screen is visible, Anthony.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So this is a project which we are currently working on, and it is in the R&D stage. And we are also looking for the people. Who wanted to collaborate or who wanted to invest or something. So you guys can pass the information regarding the project which we are doing, and so that's what I can suggest. And apart from that, so if you guys want to connect with me, you can directly connect with me over LinkedIn, and this is my profile name, Sai Reddy, and so that is what. Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity, Anthony, as well as Let's Talk It show. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Alrighty. Also, yeah, thank you so much for the effort and the knowledge you have shared with us with regards to your experience in the field of your expertise. And this goes the same to Greg Esther. And also, we appreciate everyone who have joined the Zoom live and those who have watched over Facebook and YouTube as well. We thank you so much for taking your time and checking our initiative in terms of giving back to the community by free knowledge sharing. And for the attendees who have attended and shared their insights and provide question, we thank you as well. So since the actual session and the topics have been discussed and everything has been smoothly taken care of in terms of the questions and all that. But for anyone who'd like, who's watching right now and would like to collaborate with the speakers that has joined with us today, you can rewatch the actual video that we will be uploading on YouTube and check their contact details. And you can definitely send or shoot a message to them. They're very responsive over LinkedIn and other platforms that you can get in touch them with. And as mentioned earlier, we have a startup talk in the next few minutes. So we'll be ending the session of the Zipinar. As of this time, again, I'm sending all regards to everyone who's watching and to the attendees. Thank you so much. And we wish to see you again next Wednesday, as we will have two new topics again and two wonderful speakers to share us their expertise and their knowledge with the topics of their choice. And so we can conclude the day. Thank you so much, everyone, and keep safe as always. All the best. Greg, yes?
No, I was just gonna wave goodbye, but I hit raise hand instead. Have fun. Enjoy the holidays if you got one.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Yes, guys, enjoy the holidays. And yes, goodbye for now.